Welcome to the Core Women Podcast, the place for women entrepreneurs, authors, and self-starters looking to build community and gain valuable insights through expert interviews with women at the top of their game. Join your host, podcaster, producer, expert coach, entrepreneur, and author, Dr. Summer Watson, as she aims to inspire and empower you through these candid conversations. Lean in and embrace the journey. It's time to start the show. Here's your host, Dr. Summer Watson.
Welcome back to the Core Women Podcast, where we explore the personal stories behind bold business moves and meaningful missions. Today's guest is Tanya MFK, business strategist and founder of Modern Business Mastery. After years of chasing traditional success, Tanya realized the old model wasn't working, not for her and not for the overachieving solopreneurs she was helping. Instead of building a life around business, Tanya flipped the model and began teaching entrepreneurs how to build a business around life with clarity, structure, and unapologetic alignment. If you're tired of the hustle for hustle's sake mentality and want a business that actually supports your life, this episode is going to be a breath of fresh air. Welcome, Tanya.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. I'm going to take you with me everywhere we go and do that intro. Thank you so much. So excited to be here.
You're welcome. Let's talk about your name. First off, Tanya MFK.
Tanya MFK. It's usually the first mystery. So it's not as cool as some people think, but my name is Tanya Marie Figueres Kreisinger. It is a mouthful and it's hard to spell and remember unless you're both Czech and Mexican, which is what my name is. So we've learned Tanya MFK is much easier. And I am the only one in the world. So you can always find me.
Right on. I love it. Thank you for that explanation. Now we're going to dive into this interview, but before we get into your professional journey, if you could describe your life in one word, what would that word be and why?
The whole life in one word. So I have two ideas of that. So of my whole life and where it's come up to this point, I would look at the word becoming normally. But the word I want to move forward with is the word integrated. And the reason is this: I feel like I'm coming to a point in my life of all the becomings and all the different lives that I have taken through grief and healing and the science and things that I've done. And for the first time, they're starting to become woven into a whole. And so I'm going to go with the word integrated right now.
Okay, that is one, a fantastic word, two, a beautiful explanation of why. So thank you so much. And as we get into this interview, we're going to be talking about some of that integration and moving from that becoming to integrated. So Tanya, your work is all about designing business around the life we want, not the other way around. Can you take us back to the moment you realized something needed to change in your life?
Oh, absolutely. So, in a nutshell, I was raised in poverty. I lived in homeless shelters as a kid. And so the approach that I took was, I'm going to do it differently. I'm going to learn from the mistakes of my family and those different things, and I'm going to do it differently. And it supported me in many ways. I excelled in school. I realized very early, coming from the US, like college wasn't going to be an option for me. My family didn't have that kind of money. So I took school as an opportunity to get the top straight A's and do all those things because I was like, hey, free school, right? So I had a very kind of different mindset as a child, even in school, to do those things. And so I was pushing and pushing. So by the time I got into a career, I was in a rush to get to where I believed we all should be starting from. And because I hadn't started there, everyone else had their titles or had their car or had their house. And I came in and I was like, I'll work the 16-hour days. I'll do all the things. So it got to a point in my life where I used to fax my husband. Yes, that's the age I am. So I used to fax my husband a list of all the things that we needed to do when we got home. Because after work, everybody, was not rest time in Tanya's household. That was to maximize all the other stuff. Somewhere in my life, and my idea, in my brain, I had this idea that you could get it all done. And if I'm going to use quotes on that, get it all done, because what does that even mean? So I would have this time to relax, right? Oh, finally, the list is done. And I mean, let's be honest, the list isn't done until we're 6 foot done. Okay. So, like, that's not the goal. But at the time, I really thought that's what it was. I was against this clock to say, if we do all the things, we get it all done, then finally we'll have the stuff and we'll relax, we'll enjoy our life together. So I used to fax this poor man a minute by minute schedule, minute by minute, you guys. So you pick me up from work and it would say, this is how long it would take us to get home. This is how long it would take us to set our stuff down. From here to here, we're washing dishes. From here to here, we're doing laundry. Okay, if that sounds crazy to you already, let me tell your audience here, I had bathroom breaks in that list.
No. Are you serious?
They were only 3 minutes long. I thought that was reasonable.
Oh my goodness.
Bless my husband for like going with it. I think in hindsight, like I needed him to be like, you know what, this is crazy. I would fax it, he would get it, and we would go, this is what we're doing today. And I was just in this rush to like, we get it all done, because we're going to enjoy life one day. We're going to enjoy life one day. So the moment I realized that wasn't working, as your question there, Summer, was on my 25th birthday. I sat in a doctor's office and my husband was diagnosed with stage 4 cholangiocarcinoma. And 4 months later, he was gone.
Oh.
And that was the moment when I realized someday is a myth. You have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. There is no someday on your calendar. I could have spent time with my husband on Tuesday or Thursday, but I put it for someday. And that was probably the biggest regret in that moment, because I was living for that future that wasn't going to come. And so many of us are doing that as well, because we go, if then. And intellectually, we know that's not how it works. We find joy now, yada, yada. But how do we really live that? And this left me with no other choice but to figure that out, because I didn't want to repeat what I had just done, which was miss out on life for a future that did not exist. And the future doesn't exist. The only day we're promised is today. Now, I know that the juxtaposition there is that, okay, well, if I'm supposed to live for the moment, then what am I going to do? Just spend everything and drink margaritas all day? Like, sure, that might work for a day. But yes, we know that that isn't it. But there is a way for us to have ambition. For those of us, and my people are those type A overachievers. They're the ones that would make a list like that. If any of you are like, that wasn't that crazy at first, you're my people. Okay. And it is crazy. We'll talk. Okay. But waiting for that future time and making that thing happen, it's not what exists. It's not what's there. And so recognizing that we can have ambition and say, yes, that's my 5-year goal. Yes, I want to create things. Those of us who are not content with just the things, like we want to do something big, and I mean, like we want to make an impact, whatever it is, whatever you want to write the book, we have things that people think are crazy to do. We can have that and still see the joy in today. And not say, when I write my book, I'll be happy. When I have that in the bank account, then I can spend more time with my kids. The truth is we can live our rich life right now, regardless of what's in your bank account. For my business owners right now, I'm telling you, it takes intention. Yes, it doesn't just show up. You put effort into it, but we get clear and go, spending time with my kids, what does that mean? Is that 15 minutes today? Is that 20 minutes? Is that 2 hours? What does that look like? And when? Because someday doesn't cut it. Is it Monday? Is it Tuesday? We start to schedule the things that matter, because we will make an appointment and we will show up for the dentist and we don't want to do it, but we'll do it because we know it's best. But we won't schedule that same appointment for the book you've been wanting to read, or for the yoga class, or for the time with the kids. And I'm not talking about making yourself some crazy schedule, but I'm saying that we put the same effort and dedication into what we show up for a client call to a friend call, to say, you know, I've been meaning to keep in touch with Sandy. And you know what? Instead of waiting for when that time arrives, you go, you know what? This is my Sandy time. It's that time at 2:00. I'm calling Sandy. And you protect that with the same gumption that you protect that client call or the DMV appointment, which none of us want to go to. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
That's where it came from, Summer. That's where we shifted.
Well, that's a huge shift. That is an evolution for sure. So many entrepreneurs chase a version of success that leaves them absolutely exhausted. What do you think fuels that cycle, and how do you help people break away from it?
Well, one of the things I always talk to people about is that from a very early age, we have sometimes knowingly, many times unknowingly, been conditioned to see our identity as the thing we do, our success as the thing we do. So what do people ask you when you're a little kid? What do you want to be when you grow up? they don't mean I want to be someone who's happy and rides a bike every day, or no, we say the profession that we want to do. We explain how we think we'll make money as the who we want to be when we grow up. That alone is already problematic, right?
Yeah.
And as time goes on, nobody pulls you back out and says, hey, Summer, I know you've been thinking you want to be a fireman or whatever, right? But also, like, how do you just want to see your life each day? What are you passionate about? What interests you? What fascinates you? We focus on what you do to make money and we pack everything around that. So, as adults, most of us, unless we've taken some special classes or life has forced us to, we haven't actually sat back to go, what kind of life do I want? We have thought about what career we want. We've thought about how we make money. And then after we do that, we find ourselves there going, okay, so now I've done this and I have this job. Who the heck am I? I'm weirdly not magically happy with this job. You could have a job you enjoy, but typically you don't just automatically get filled with happiness, even if the job's good, because that's not where it comes from. When we start to look at how do I want to fill my time and fill my days, and what does that look like? And, if you're interested in, I don't know, aquariums or something, or like, it doesn't have to be your job. You can go, where do I find space in my life to learn about all those tropical fish? Side note, if anyone listens to me, I love to give examples of things I have zero experience with. All right. So like, I usually give metaphors of like, here's this industry I know nothing about, but it's totally like that. I know nothing about aquariums, so great analogy there, Tanya. But that's the thing, right? We're so intentional with these other things. We're intentional with the have tos, but
Yeah.
we're not intentional with the want tos and the wish tos. And here's the thing, I get it. There's a lot of have tos in life, and they require space. But if we don't carve out space for the want tos and wish tos, the have tos take it all up.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for that answer because there is a way to break free from that conditioning, from what we were
Yeah,
taught. And I think that was a great example early on when you said, as children, people ask us, what do we want to be? And it's
yeah.
funny because when I think back on some of the movies that I've watched growing up, like Baby Boom, Working Girl, and let me give you an example of the movie Baby Boom. She starts out in New York. All these people have babies. She's at the park and they're saying, oh my gosh, I already signed my son up for, or my daughter up for such and such school because you just
Mhm.
can't get in there, right? And she says, can I get in there? She goes, oh no, there's a wait list for like 4 years. You needed to start early on. So these people are already planning like you and your
Yeah,
list making, right? They're
yeah.
planning, getting busy, letting that consume their lives where they're lost from that moment, that time of being present.
Right. Yeah, they never actually zoomed out to say, is that what I actually want?
Right.
And when you asked, what's the way to move out of it? It's
Yes.
almost annoyingly simple because all it does is actually require to zoom out from all that noise. We don't say what makes this most effective or Mike, we actually zoom out and go, instead of who do I want to be, what do I want my life to look like? How do I want to live my life? And I don't care how crazy it says. Some of you, I love getting up early, right? But if some of you are like, I want a life where I wake up at noon and I do this and I do that, like that's information. You might see it as daydreaming. That's information. When you find about that position and you're like, how did they get that? Underwater basket weaving? You can do that? Like, yeah, there's probably something there that'll fit. But this is what we do. We've gone to default because we can only see what's there, and what's there is what everyone else is doing. So of course that seems to be all there is. And it takes a minimal removal, even if it's just a 30-minute to zoom out and go, wait a minute, what if? What if the day ran the way I wanted? What would that really look like? Where would I want to be? How would I want to do that? I'll give you a great example of how this can be clarified. I will toot my own horn here. I'm real good at event planning. I love crafts. So, like, I can make your centerpieces and I can do the things that real creative. Many of my friends I've run it and I loved it. And because of that, people would go, hey, maybe this is a thing, right?
Yeah.
And I'm good at it. And people were up for it. And I'm organized. I could make this thing run. I was fortunate enough in that moment to have this practice to zoom out and go, well, wait a minute, what actually do I want? At that time in my life, not working weekend or holidays was really important to me because I had just come off of working in clinical research where it did not matter if the protocol landed on Christmas morning, that's when you have to show up. And not only did you have to show up, but you had to try to convince the patient to show up, which is not easy, just part of the
Right.
protocol. But you had to do that. And I just remember at that time in my life going, I'm so tired of this. Well, everybody, when do people have their events normally? Holidays and weekend. So yes, I'm good at it. Yes, there's a market. Yes, I even enjoy it. But when I was able to compare it to what I said I actually really wanted, that's where it stopped fitting, right?
Yeah.
It can get us if we don't do that comparison. I do this a lot with clients too. I'm getting excited for a minute. I know I'm gonna be careful on time. I'm getting all excited. So I always tease my people who like marathon running because that's just not my thing. So I'm all for you doing it, but just hear this analogy. Most people, unlike me, will cheer you on, be like, good for you. You're going to do a marathon, right? Which honestly, it is a good thing, right? No one's going to be like, oh, that's really unhealthy. You shouldn't do that. Of course, they're going to cheer you on. It takes a lot to train for a marathon, especially if you've never done it. You have to start getting your stamina up and it increases in hours. Right. So you might only be able to make it 20 minutes, but by the time you're getting closer, you should probably have already been practicing 3 or 4 hour runs. Very noble, very beautiful. If you told me your goal that year, your most important goal was to spend more time with your family, that marathon actually becomes problematic. Again, wonderful marathon.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with it. It's just an opposition of the life you said you wanted.
Right.
So the answer there to come out, it's really taking that moment. And it can be as simple as a list. It doesn't have to be that grandiose. It can just be, even with work, what would be my ideal day? And start to actually understand what that looks like, because that's the only thing. And I will tell you this one more thing. A good life, I promise, Summer, a good life is just a series of well-lived days. And a well-lived day is managed on how you do your hours, not for effectiveness, not for productivity, but for a good life. So how do you manage your hours each day to have a good day? Because those good days are what add up to a good life.
Well, I absolutely can appreciate how you did that transition of hours, scheduling, and really reframing that in a way that you're really putting yourself before all that chaos and conditioning,
Yeah.
right? But it's just panning back. It's taking yourself out of that. And I think that's what's hard for a lot of people because we live in that reaction mode and also that condition mode. As you were talking, I'm thinking about even as we went to college, people were saying, okay, you're going to declare a major before even you get in. If you didn't declare a major, then those first 2 years are like, okay, you need to understand that you need to declare a major before those 2 years are over if you're going to a 4 year school and blah, blah, blah. And it continues that cycle.
Yeah. And I'm almost conditioned away from connecting to our present moment. It's
Right.
like we're constantly being pulled into a future that does not exist. And so that's my thing is sometimes people go, well, oh no, but if I do this, I'm not going to think about the future. Like, really? I'm going to say it so sarcastically as possible. Is there anywhere in this world that's not going to let you think about the future? It's rarely our problem. Our problem is coming in to say yes and. Not yes, but yes, and yes, I have a future thing, and today matters most. And I'm not promised tomorrow. And how do I do both? How do I do my have tos and my wish tos? And I think that is the actual ultimate success is today I did both my have tos and my wish tos.
I love it. I have two more questions for you. You founded Modern Business Mastery to support solopreneurs in a deeper, more sustainable way. What makes your approach different from traditional business coaching?
So, modern business mastery is specifically that it's about self mastery for business mastery. So, one of the things that I learned when I was building, marketing plans and strategy plans is that I would give them to these amazing people, and then we'd check in, and they go, "Yeah, I haven't had a chance to do that." And it would be like, well, this and that's going on. And then you start to find out that there's a lot more under the surface of how they're managing their days, how they feel. And it would start to get into, okay, well, yeah, you have this great strategy, but you're stressed and you have this going on and that going on. So even though it's laid out there, it's too much right now. There's other things that need to be discussed and figured out before we even worry about that. Right. And that's when I started to go, there isn't a work-life separation. It is all life. Your work informs your life and your life informs your work. And when we started that stuff back in the 80s of saying, don't bring your personal life to work, BS. We cannot leave our humanity at the door. And so the thing is going, how do we have them work in synergy together? right? Not how we have them in opposition. How do we make sure that I have that space? So our approach focuses specifically, we start with what kind of life do you want to live? What does that look like? And how would the business model, some of you may already have an idea of a small, what version of that model do we fit so you can actually live that life now, not when you're waiting for this grandiose success, but you go, I actually can live it now while you're running your business and doing your business. The second thing that we do a lot differently is we teach people how to run the business after the launch. A lot of people focus on, you got this, but after that happens, how do you maintain your content? How do you know when you're selling what? How do you not let it take over your life? One of the hard things in entrepreneurship is actually when your business goes well. It starts to go really well and things fall through the cracks because you don't have the systems to do it. You never figured it out. Then they go, oh, this lady's not that good. And you're like, no, I'm amazing. I just don't have systems. And so we really focus on teaching you how to run the business after the launch. And that is why I think our clients are with us for years on end, because it's about really sustaining it.
Love that. We have covered so much in this short period of time. We've laughed, we've got serious, we've covered a lot of great takeaways here. You've given a lot of examples, which I absolutely love. So as we come to the close of the interview, for anyone listening who feels stuck in a business that doesn't feel like theirs anymore, what's one tip they can implement today to start shifting towards more alignment?
Doesn't feel like yours anymore. And we want to get into alignment. Really, it's all going to start with that zoom out. Because what I could do is go, oh, well, maybe you're trying this tactic and you want to try that tactic. There's a bazillion tactics. And the truth is, even the slimiest ones, they work. But if we don't find out who you are, it doesn't matter. And I'll get with my lovely example. This one I am familiar with. This one I give a lot. Someone will give his thing and say, so let's say you're vegan, okay? And you're looking for love. And I go, listen, hon, the best place to meet a good partner, Brazilian steakhouse. That's exactly, okay? I'm telling you. And she's going, it's not really no, I'm telling you, I know, but it's where you go. So this is what a lot of coaches do. I know it's not your thing, but just trust it. It's the tactic. So they go. Obviously, you probably feel pretty uncomfortable there. If they do talk to someone, it's going to be probably awkward. It's going to be weird. It's probably not going to be effective. Or they're going to feel a need to betray who they are or not. Someone's going to go, look at that amazing meat. And they're going to be like, oh, yeah, okay. And now they're betraying who they are. But hey, there's great people there. That's what a lot of us are doing. Showing up in spaces in social media, showing up with tactics that are somebody else's. I am telling you, the more we zoom in on who you are, there is an effort, a tactic, a marketing plan that will fit whoever you are. You don't want to be seen. There's a version that works for that. You want to be only in one space. There's a version that works for that. But none of that matters until we zoom out and go, wait a minute. What do you like to do? What feels good to you? What is this really about? And I'm telling you, marketing plans are the easy part. The hard part is making sure you're doing what's aligned with you. So if it's not feeling aligned, it's a zoom out and find out what that really is. And if you talk with us, obviously you can always chat with us. We do no pitch, no sale for anything we do. So if you ever come to connect with any of our things, it'll be a safe space and you will walk away with actual support. So if you're really unclear, we're more than happy to have that conversation. But first it's going, what is it? And then we fit the tactic to you, not some arbitrary X really works, or you got to be on TikTok, or no one's got to anything. And if anyone tells you that as a coach, run far away.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to say.
Awesome. Thank you, Tanya, for joining me on the Core Women podcast today.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. You can follow Tanya MFK on LinkedIn and Instagram at TanyaMFK.com and modernbusinessmastery.com. And you can also get a free goals to Gameplan guide at modernbusinessmastery.com.
Thank you for joining us on the Core Women podcast with Dr. Summer Watson. We're so glad you're here and would love to connect more with you. Find us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Core Women and on Twitter at Core Women 1. For more about Core Women and Dr. Watson, visit corewomen.com. Want more support and resources for amazing women like you? Great! Join Dr. Watson and Jen Fontanilla at the Life, Love, and Money Collective, a Core Women production that aids in understanding the key traits that might be getting in the way of living a life that you are absolutely passionate about. Connect with Summer and Jen and find out more at thelifeloveandmoney.com.